This podcast is certified fresh. Freshmediaworks.com.
Welcome to the Montgomery ISD Athletics Show, where each week we share conversations about everything that makes MISD athletics so great. Montgomery ISD, in partnership with families and community, will graduate all students with the knowledge, skills, and leadership necessary to thrive as productive and responsible citizens. Athletics play a vital role in student success, promoting physical and mental well-being while developing essential life skills like teamwork, leadership, and resilience that benefit students far beyond high school. The Montgomery ISD Coaches Show is fueled by EAG Automotive, East Texas's MVP since 1977. With 8 locations and a winning lineup of new and pre-owned rides, they bring the heat with hometown hustle and high-performance service. EAG Automotive, where East Texas drives to win.
With 60,000 fiber route miles across 20 states, we deliver reliable solutions. We prioritize customer service to build better relationships and a better Texas. Consolidated Communications. Let's build a better network.
All right, welcome back to the MISD Athletics Show. I'm Chris Daly. I am joined once again by Coach Alyssa Maynard. How are you doing, Coach?
I'm doing fantastic. Glad to be here.
Cool. And so let's talk girls soccer. Unfortunately, the season is over right now for the girls soccer team, but if you had to give the girls a grade for the year, what would you give them?
I would say 9 out of 10, not 10 out of 10, because I think we can always improve. We can always be better. There's always room for growth and learning, but definitely pretty high up there. Just because of the way the season ended for us. It ended on probably the best note possible. So we're super excited about that.
Nice. So tell me about that best note.
So we went through playoffs. We had a pretty successful run through playoffs, I guess you could say. We ended up winning the state championship this year in a pretty hard-fought battle. For a few games, we saw some very, very good opponents. And honestly, just the way the girls played, the way they never gave up, and just the confidence and the heart that they had throughout that entire last half of the season, and then through playoffs, that gave us the win.
Nice. Let's talk about the seniors. First, how many are you going to be losing at the end of this year? Because that's always a big concern. And then let's break them down.
We're losing quite a bit. We have only 2 true seniors, one of which is our goalkeeper. The rest that we're losing is most of our junior class. So we have a couple that are going to be graduating early, 2 that are still on the fence, whether or not they want to graduate early. So if you kind of just look at it, we're really going to have our current freshman and sophomore group moving forward, which was the majority of our starters. So while it's sad to say we're losing some very good players, we still have a very good base of players that will be returning next year.
Nice. If you could, then let's run through some of the players that will be leaving so you can talk about what they did this season, their contribution to the team, whether it's on the field or in the locker room or however they contributed.
So Piper Johnson, she's our senior goalkeeper. She's going to Rogers State this next year after graduation. She is just a silent leader, really someone that's going to be very hard to replace. She always makes sure things get done, whether I'm there or not. She's the kind of kid that does the right thing even when nobody's looking. But she's an anchor for us in the back. And has come up with some incredible saves, a few of which, helped solidify the win for us in the state championship and even in some of the games leading up to that. We're also going to be graduating Riley Strout, who's going to A&M. She's one of our outside backs. She has been a vital component to our team for the last 3 years, but she's chosen to graduate early in December along with Hallie Montgomery, who's one of our attacking center mids. She's also going to be graduating early in December. And the two of them have been just huge parts of our team for the last few years, both on offense and defense. You know, Hallie, when she started, she was a defensive center mid, and this year she was more of a 9, and she was our second leading goal scorer. I mean, she really just kind of came into her own this year. So I'm really excited to see what the future holds for those 3 kids. We do also still have 2 other juniors who are kind of on the fence on whether or not they're going to graduate early. And it's possible that they do. And that's Harper Montgomery, Hallie's twin sister, who actually scored the game-winning goal in the state championship. Nice. And then Laney's Abigaila, who is our current leading goal scorer, and she has been for the last 3 years. So just that group right there that I've listed, those 5 are kind of like the core 5 for the last 3 years. But even though we're losing them, we still have an incredible underclassmen group that's, I think, going to continue to have a lot of success for years to come.
Nice. And are the underclassmen as smart as these ones? So are you going to be losing them early too?
You know, it's very possible. That's kind of the thing. It's not even just, you know, academically. Academically, I'm very fortunate. All of my girls are in some very high level courses, and they have a strong schedule. But with our sport being a fall sport at the college level, you know, it really does make sense when you're going to a Division I school or just really any high level school to kind of graduate early, because you get the spring off season to train. So it's not just the speed of play of what it looks like when you get to the college level, but it's the strength training that you're going to get, getting used to the coaches that you're going to be playing under versus graduating high school and then going straight into your first season to start playing and learning all of that. So it kind of gives them the off season to learn and to grow as players. And while I would love for them to stay, and they know they're more than welcome to keep coming back to Lake Creek, we're still excited for that opportunity to be in front of them.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And what about the off season? What does the off season look like for the girls?
So the off season for us is we're back in the weight room. We're still doing injury prevention. We have kind of lightened up the load on the field a little bit, just because we have been on the field pretty much all year. You know, this is the first school year where, you know, we get done with season and we barely have a month of school left. So, you know, they've been doing all of the things, and we want to prevent burnout, and we want them to still enjoy it and love being here. But like I said, we're really focusing on that strength training and injury prevention, just to give them a solid base as we go into summer, and then continue building on that in the fall. And then going from there, we have very much a possession-minded team and outlook on the game. And so we want to continue to build off of that. But a lot of it is being strong on the ball. So if somebody does come in to challenge you, you're able to protect, hold, and keep the ball and keep possession for the team.
Excellent, excellent. And you talked about the underclassmen who will be stepping up. Call out a couple of them that you think will need to contribute in a big way.
I think we have a really good group that's just going to continue. They're already so great, and to be so young. One of our strongest players defensively for us is Kate Rubin, who's a freshman. One of the comments by referees and coaches is constantly, that kid's only a freshman. How old is she? Like they really do. She is always there, always able to win the ball, very strong on the ball, and very smart, helps us keep possession. Our 2 center backs are also very, very young, right behind Kate. That's Jules DeWolf and Karis Burdick. And both of them, you know, Jules is a freshman, Karis is a sophomore. Both of them have done something that we've kind of struggled with in the last few years, has been that position. And I feel like, have done it very, very well and have been phenomenal anchors for us. We also have Jane Norsworthy and Hadley Robert as our other outside backs. Hadley unfortunately broke her ankle when we played Consol last round of district, so she wasn't able to play with us for the last few games of district and playoffs. So just knowing that we were able to have that successful of the season and have somebody like Hadley injured and on the bench and unable to play, and know that next year we're going to have her back, I think is going to be incredible for us defensively to have that solid 5 returning. I think is going to be huge. We also have Sochi Ramirez, who's another freshman. She's one of our leading goal scorers. And ultimately, I think she really helped control a lot of the offensive transitions for us and helped us win the ball. And again, scoring goals, putting the ball in the back of the net, and how many she scored as a freshman is absolutely incredible. And I just think moving forward with the other players that we already have, Kinley Houseman has been with us for 2 years as well. She's another sophomore who's been playing for the last couple of years. And she's kind of like, I don't know, almost like the silent killer. You don't necessarily hear her or see her coming, and then all of a sudden, boom, she's there. She comes in so fast, you don't even realize it. And she's one of the ones that is always going to be there to battle it out. And I think that's probably the best word to use for that young group is they're willing to battle it out, fight for it, and they just never give up. And I absolutely love to see that.
Nice. And talk about participation. Have you seen it grow over the years?
Yes. So I think the longer I've been here and the more I've been able to go down to our middle school and see some of our middle school, junior high athletes and just kind of build those relationships, I think has really helped not just in numbers, but in quality. So in the past, I had players who may not necessarily have wanted to play school ball. They wanted to focus on club. And now we're able to pull some of those club focused players and have them join in with us as well. And just gaining that experience, because there really is nothing like playing high school sports. You're playing with your best friends that are in the classroom with you day to day and representing your community, wearing your school colors. It just hits real different than when you're going out to club ball and, trying to get scouted. And your main purpose is to make it to the next level and develop. And here, while we want to develop, we also want to develop them not just as players, but as people. And just, again, that community element that they get has been fantastic. Since winning the state championship, I can't tell you how many times I get stopped in the hallway by kids asking about tryouts and just kind of getting that attention of kids wanting to be a part of what we've built because it is so special, I think is absolutely fantastic as well.
Yeah, definitely. And in the football world, there's a saying that at some point in your career, it changes from the X's and O's to the Jimmies and Joes as they focus on the kids and not so much about laser focus on the game. Have you seen that in your career where you're seeing this is much more about people than it is about soccer?
Absolutely. Because, and I think that's been a big element of our success this year. Yeah. So this whole entire year has been approached very different than the last 2 years that I've been here and then any year that I've coached. We still continue to hammer away at it in the weight room and on the field and building in those aspects. But we also threw in a whole lot more team bonding and just fun activities. Even during playoffs, I joke with the girls, I never have fun practices. We'll do something that's fun because soccer is very fun, but we don't just goof off and say, we're just here to have a good time. And we did that this year in playoffs. And I was speaking with our softball coach, Coach Carter, who I respect immensely. And how have you had so much success? Tell me all the tips and tricks. And she said, when you hit playoffs, you just got to have fun. So we ended up doing kickball with softball at one point. We even played dodgeball in the gym. We took them to an arcade and went bowling and just trying to do as many things as we could to have fun during playoffs. And just that fun element really helped the girls build relationships. And they talked about a lot throughout playoffs. It was about not just wanting to win, but win and be there for each other. And I think building those relationships, them learning how to interact with people who may be different than them, is definitely a lifelong skill that they're going to take with them as they move forward.
I love that. And finally, what about the school itself? The support that you have there from the athletics department to the administration and then the district.
Man, it's been fantastic. When we did our send-off this year, it was just different because we had so many people coming out. I mean, we had board members that were there. We had people in the community, businesses, just a lot of people reaching out and just wanting to wish the girls good luck, changing their signs. And, when it's soccer, most people aren't paying attention. And especially when it's girls soccer. And here lately, the girls, I feel like are getting the recognition they deserve, but really it's just the community. The community has really rallied behind them. The students have rallied behind them, the teachers. Everyone's just really excited. And I'm just glad that they're all able to see what I've been seeing for the last few years, and what I knew they were capable of. But now the girls have really brought it to fruition, and it's a great thing to be a part of.
I love it. I love it. Well, congratulations on an amazing season. And thank you so much for sitting down with me and sharing some of your insights.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Take care. At the Woodlands Behavioral Health and Wellness Center, they want kids to thrive, not just in school, but in sports and in life. Pressures like anxiety, ADHD, or even the stress of competition and injuries can hold them back. That's why their team offers specialized care, including sports psychology, to help kids manage performance pressure, bounce back from setbacks, and build confidence on and off the field. They provide complimentary consultations, so call today. Call 281-528-4226 or visit addwoodlands.com, because every student deserves the chance to thrive.